Hey everybody, what's up? Happy Tuesday. So I had to think about that for a moment. So this lesson is going to be really good. If you're an entrepreneur, this is really crucial for you, especially if you're an entrepreneur that deals with matters of the heart, but also not even an entrepreneur. If you're finding struggles in love, if you're finding struggles in creating deep and meaningful relationships with friends, with connecting with anyone, we all want to feel other humans. And I don't mean this in a creepy way, guys. I mean that we all want to feel each other. So when I say this, it's because for me, I look for depth. So that's why I don't like going out anymore to where I'm not deeply connecting with other people. It feels boring to me because I feel like I'm not getting to know you. We're all wearing this mask and it's not fun for me because I want to know who you really are. I want to really find out about you. And I was talking to some of my clients and I don't know, so this is really funny, right? And this is a bold move I made and it was a little bit scary. I shared it with you guys in the video last week when I had this kind of awakening that was like, you're not going to do business mentorship anymore because I know that women don't really need that in business. We think we need strategies, we think we need funnels, we think we need all these things. It's a very small piece. So I went into my group today with, or this week, I went into my private mentorship group and I told all of them, guys, unless you oppose it, I'm not doing any more business strategy with you. We're doing healing work. We're doing deeper diving work. And they all didn't have a problem with it. So today we go into a call with one of my clients and this is what comes up, is truth and transparency. Now, what I found with working with women, and this goes for men too, I work with some men, but I know this for women for sure, is that we have these contractions. Life is expansion and contraction. But why do we contract and hide often, right? Contracting is part of life. Think about contracting as when you retreat because you're having a baby. You need extra nourishment. You need time. There's about to be a rebirth. Something's emerging. So when there's a contraction, something big is usually coming. We're on the verge of something big. Sometimes we sabotage and we stop because we don't have the inner resources ready to push through. Or sometimes we do everything that we wanted to do and then a contraction comes. But why do we hide during a contraction? Why do people tend to hide? Here's why. Because women, a lot of people have not learned how to show up and be totally transparent and share their so-called shit, their crap, and still be a leader. So what I offer to my client, and I'm going to share the way to how to do this, because people think visibility is learning how to do videos. No, it's not. Visibility is showing up and being visible, being vulnerable, showing us who you are. And you can tell the people who are showing up and showing who they are because other people are showing up and they always want to share the good stuff. Life is so always happy, and it's like I can't trust to learn from you because how do I know that you've gone through it? How do I know that you handle these things that I'm navigating? Here's another reason why we have to show up and be transparent. When we're transparent, we're just vulnerable and we share what we're going through, right? We're doing two things. First thing, we're doing two things. First thing is this, is that we're owning all of us. We're owning us and we're learning to love ourselves. We're saying, you know what? This thing happened. It feels ugly. It feels icky. I don't know. I'm judging myself as bad. Someone else has judged me as bad. But you know what? It's part of my path. It happened. What can I do about it? I have to accept it. I have to love it. So we learn how to do that. There's something else that's even more important. Well, I wouldn't say it's more important, but it's equally important. Is that we're giving other people the permission to do so too. So how do we show up and be transparent? How do we show up and just share all of who we are? Especially if it's crap that we just don't want to share or that feels icky. I would say that you always have to share it from a leadership space, right? You have to share it from the leadership space because here's the thing. If you are setting out to create a global movement, or that, let's just say that you want to make the world a better place. You want to make the 7 billion worlds that are happening, right? Because we're all living in our own world, a better place. You have a right, you have more of a duty, I should say, to share how you've gotten through your hard stuff. Because there's people that are suffering that will never show up and say, hey, I'm suffering with this. Hey, I'm hurting like this. Because they've been taught that to share their feelings and their emotions and their pain is a weakness. So for those people, we have the duty that we have to show up and share it. Because I don't know who's going to be on the other side of this video that's going to get this message and that it's going to change everything for them. So if you're planning to do this business like mine or something similar and you want to show up, you can't only show up with the how to feel good tips, how to have a better life tip. That's great, but how do they navigate the depths of it? Hi, Beth. Beth, as a business owner, I love that. Yeah, the strategy, small piece. It's the soul strategy. It's the spiritual stamina. I know that you're referring to that. And that's why, like, I can tell when women are working with men a lot, especially men that are not really tuned into this, because I can feel that in them. So when there's a woman, we need equal parts of things, right? We need softness. We need that love. We need that acceptance, because just like with my client who's in my business mentorship program that we stopped doing strategy in, we did this beautiful healing meditation today, and some of which I'm going to be sharing in my free meditation class. So guys, get in there on Thursday. It's free, and I'm telling you, you're going to feel different after it, 'cause it's really powerful. But we went into this really soft space, and we were just feeling into all of the lessons that came from her pain. All of the things that happened during a contraction that she wanted to hide from, and that she hid from the world, and that she was like, you know what, I'm going through this contraction. And I watch women, because there's a cycle of about 4 to 6 weeks. And that's why I'm doing a 6-month program now, because 4 to 6 weeks, there's an expansion that happens, and everything during an expansion is like, hell yes, life is on fire, go, 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 go. And then a contraction hits, and then we want to retreat. But as a leader, and this is where I see as like next level leadership, right? Because we're all leaders in a way, but to be that next level, if you really want to step up as a global leader, you have to show up during the contraction too. And that's what transparency is really about. Being transparent is stepping up in the contraction and saying, you know what? I'm human too, and I have stuff too. I have pain too. But here's how I navigated it. Here's how I'm navigating it right now. Here's what's coming up for me. I'm open to exploring it, because what we're doing there is giving people permission, because far too often people are sitting in their house, like my clients have been, and like they're telling me now that we're going into this more of a healing stage, is they don't want to show up, because they're like, who am I to show up like this? I'm feeling like this. What is my right to teach? Who would hire me then? But I'm going to go ahead and just shift that for you, because I can't tell you how many clients have come to me and hire me because of the stuff I share, because of the family pain that I have, because of my past, because of the illegal stuff that I did and have overcome it. It's because they know that it's almost like a safe space. And that's what I create in all of my groups, and I cultivate that from day one, is that, hey, this is a safe space, and that I am a recovering harsh person, and sometimes I'm still harsh on myself, right? And I think that all of us have a part of us that has been harsh, right? And that's that voice that's in our head. But when you've been abused for most of your life, you may have even more harshness. And I was a very harsh person. So what I've learned is to just come up and meet that part of me that wants to judge with love. And when I judge it with love, and I say that, you know what? Even if I deem this as ugly or something I don't like, it's a part of me. And it's made me into me. So if it's made me into me, then how could I hate it? How can I not like it? So I have to go back and revisit it, pour more love into it, and bring it out. And I kind of put it out here on a plate for all of you guys to look at, because I want you to know that whatever that is in you is also beautiful, and also something that we can all work with and learn from and grow from. But no amount of business strategy is going to bring you out into the world and give you that voice. The only one that can do that for you is you unlocking it. And I'm only a guide in that. Like, I had one of my clients that wrote me today, a man actually, and he says, well, what do you think I should do? Should I do it this way or should I do it this way? And he's talking about journal practices. And I tell him, you know what, here's what I do, and here's another option for you, but I'm going to tell you that you are your own healer. So I'm inviting you to explore which one feels better for you. Because at the end of the day, all I am is I'm someone that essentially holds your hand during this and reminds you of your light. Somebody that tells you, like, just to go in and explore what's there for you. And I'm there to, like, remind you, no matter what's happening in life, that only you can create the conditions for your greatest life. And we do some powerful meditations and we do all these things, but that's the power of having that tribe and community. But I have to tell you that if you want to create enormous change in this world and create that wave, it begins with you owning your wave. You're part of it, right? Someone called me, sorry. Thank you for giving voice to this. I am learning to show up in contraction. It's powerful, isn't it? Because we almost wonder, and this is me with my own trust issues that it triggers, but I have a trust thing with people that only show up and share that refuse to admit that they have darkness in their life. Because it doesn't mean that we have to identify with the darkness. We don't have to identify with it. We don't have to let it take us on a long train for like 2 months of darkness. But as someone that's lived in darkness for so long and that has come to the light and now still watches the darkness as it shows up, I know that part of it's biochemistry. I know that a lot of it is like in a rebirth that it happens. But I know that we can choose a lot of things in those times. So when I talk about depression, I was just talking to my client, the same one we're having this transparency thing with, and she's like, it just feels paralyzing. She says, it just feels paralyzing. I feel stuck. I feel like I hit a wall and I don't want to show up for this. I feel like I just want to let it run. She has a program that's coming out in a couple days, and she was like, I only have this many people in it, and I think I just want to run with it at this stage. And I said, before you make any real choices from this so-called depressed state, and depression, we've given it this stigma and this identity, but depressed just means like a suppression, right? So before you go from this space, do something. Move your body. Go buy those green juices that you were talking about. Go and change your biochemistry. Create the space and boundaries with your kids, with your lover, with these things, and create the space for you so that you can protect yourself and what's coming up. So I'm a firm believer in this. I love my daughter. My daughter is next to me, number one in my life, right? But the reason why I say next to me is because I am the keeper of her right now, right? Until she's 18. And I have to make sure I'm good. Because if I was shit before, right? Like I know what it's like to not be good. So because I was that way, I'm very adamant about keeping myself strong and my boundaries strong around that. So we have to make sure we care for ourselves. And even with our family, sometimes we have to say, you know what? I need space. There's something coming through. I'm not feeling connected. I'm not feeling aligned. I need to feel this. But once you learn the lessons that are here for you through this contraction, share it with us. Share it with us. Because there's someone else on the other side of the computer. There's someone else on the other side of their phone that is struggling in silence and they don't know what to do. Their friends can't relate. Right? And because their friends can't relate and because they don't have someone to talk to about this, you are that person. Do not step up and say that you want to be a coach or a healer or practitioner when you only want to work with a few people and there are so many people that need your help. And I'm not going to do that to like shame you or guilt you or judge you, but all I'm saying is this, is that if you have a key to help someone live a better life, or you have information that can help heal someone in any way, shape, or form, don't withhold it. And I have to tell you that you going through your most shitty of times, painful times, the biggest struggles are the times where that information can help the most people. But we have to be willing to relinquish the shame that we hold around it in order to share it with other people and just fully accept it and love it. So I think that's it for this. But hi Lupe, hey Jen, I don't know who's still on here. But I want to send all of you ladies love. And if you're not already signed up, or if you know someone that would love it, join me on Thursday when I have a free class. It's not a free class just trying to sell. Of course, I would love people to join me in other things. But there's also a desire, just like we feel these desires to cleanse and make space, I get these intuitive hits that tell me it's time to share, it's time to give more. And I'm not writing long blog posts and all these things because I'm writing a book, so I don't got time for that. And energetically, I don't want to do that. But I do like to share these masterclass and meditations because my meditations are very powerful, and I will say that, and I will toot my own horn, as someone told me in my last thing, don't not do that. But I'm good at it. It's part of my things. And the woman that I was with today, that I told her we're doing zero business strategy moving forward, and she signed up. She paid me thousands of dollars for her business mentorship, but I told her we're not doing that anymore. We're doing all healing work. And she was like, at the end, she's crying, and she literally has like snot coming out of her nose, and she's like wiping it, and she says, no, this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're supposed to be doing. This is what you're good at, and this is what I needed. So that's, and I just felt all these chills through my body when I said that, but that's the power of owning who we are. And I was judging myself last week for feeling this change because I'm like, I just said that I wanted to do this. Why don't I want to do it anymore? And then now I'm like, no, I want to do something else. And that I just came back to my truth. So join me on Thursday. It's free. The link is on my Facebook page. Tag your friends, share it with your people. I promise that at the end you're going to feel a shift. It's going to feel magical. And if it feels magical to you, then you got to get in my 6-month program because it's going to be life-changing. And it's not only because you're going to be with me, but there's going to be really incredible women in that group. And I'll tell you what, that there's nothing like having conscious women witness your evolution and hold the space for you, because it's different than just going out with women. Because I go out with women sometimes, and when I go out with women in a less intentional way, we're not all showing up and holding the space. When you're in a group with me, I tell you, don't go on your phone during our groups. Show up, get on camera. What I'm doing is I'm teaching and making you uncomfortable so that you can be more visible. Because here's what I know that comes through visibility and vulnerability and the willingness to be transparent, is that then you become your innate healer, the healer that you were born to be. We don't have to go take a healing class to figure out how to be a healer, although it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. But as women, we were born as healers, and one book that really brought that out for me, Marianne Williamson, A Woman's Worth, and I love Marianne Williamson anyway. She's like one of the people that, like, in my soul's mastermind, if I imagine that I'm sitting with women and that if I have to answer to them and share what my day was like and feel good about it, Marianne Williamson was there. I want to really step up and show up because I feel like she just really has owned who she is and really shines that light. And she shows up for political matters. She shares the hard stuff. She shares the things that don't feel good. And for all of us showing up and saying that, like, I think that we all want to be healers. And even some of the women that are on this call right now or on this Facebook Live with me that are in some of my groups have stepped up and said, you know, I feel called to be a healer. I feel called to be a coach. But the thing is, it's because that's your natural way of being. That's your natural way of being. We nurture and we love and we are soft, but then there's a part of us that wants to show up in, like, let's call it the masculine energy. We want to make an impact. We want to do it bigger and bolder now, but cool thing is we have the internet. But first we have to own ourselves. We have to accept ourselves and love ourselves, because what I've learned from myself is that the more I accept my stuff, my mistakes, and the way that I've showed up, I'm like, well, we're all just kind of exploring, so let's just give them the benefit of the doubt and give them that freedom right now to know that even though they may have hurt us and even though they may have caused us pain, hey Kaylee, I didn't even know you're on here. Even though what they've done to us might feel crappy and, you know, it might not feel good, at the end of the day, they're exploring life just like we are, and they're doing the best they can with the way that they've been taught. So anyway, guys, see you on Thursday. Sign up. It's free. Tag your friends. Do me that favor. And I love all of you. So have a beautiful day. Mwah. Bye. Oh, cool. I didn't see your name on there. Bye, Kaylee. Bye, guys.